So what do you know about either the Nico situation or the Arch Manning situation at Texas that I don't? Because it seems that most people, including you and the national media, would say Nico would start behind Arch Manning because everybody thinks that Joe Milton's got this season locked up. I'm not everybody. I'm not in that group, but most people are. So what do you know when you send me that email telling me to do my research on Texas, and I've done my research obviously on Tennessee? What do you know, Caleb, in your digging? Because I don't see that there's any way based off the national media, even though I disagree, that the national media or you think that Nico is going to start before Arch Manning. You?
Well, so this arose because spring practice was underway at Texas. It started yesterday, and there's already been talk about Arch Manning versus Quinn Ewers at Texas. And I think we both watched a good bit of Quinn Ewers last year, just watching college football. I don't think he's that good. I don't know where you stand on him.
He's not that good.
Yes, he's not.
But you have given me a question. That's why you're what the H for today. You have given me a question with two bad answers. I'm going to take out my personal feelings about what Nico will do this year. Okay. And I'm going to go big picture because everybody's like, oh, you hate Joe. You're a Joe hater. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm a Joe hater. I'm not. I love the guy. I think he's a great dude. But taking my personal feelings out, you've given me two bad options because the nation thinks that Nico is not going to start. And I think the nation thinks that Evers is. So what is your choice?
I think Arch Manning is going to start before Nico because I think what you've been predicting about Nico, I think happens with Arch Manning. I think Arch Manning is going to be the starter by October. I think Arch Manning is starting when Texas plays Oklahoma. And I'm going to say that because just schedules for a minute. Texas is losing to Alabama week 2. Quinn Ewers is not going to beat Alabama. I think it's going to be way uglier than last year's game. I think after what happened, Alabama almost lost. I think Alabama just blows them out of the water.
It's a redemption year for Alabama, even though I don't like their coordinator hires. I think they'll get some redemption on some teams. Texas is a possibility. Tennessee is a possibility. Texas A&M is a possibility.
Correct. So they will destroy Texas. 2 weeks after Alabama, though, Texas has to go to Baylor. Now, I know Baylor went 6-7 last year, but Quinn Ewers versus Dave Aranda's defensive coaching at Baylor, I got my money on Baylor winning that. And I think Baylor's going to win, and I think it's going to be because Texas doesn't score that much, and their offense is going to be so porous that every fan in Austin, every caller in Austin after that Baylor game will be like, pull the plug, it's time for Arch Manning. Everybody's going to want Arch Manning, and I think Steve Sarkisian will pull the plug at that point and go with Arch Manning.
But everybody is going to say the same thing at Tennessee, and Tennessee's schedule was soft in the beginning. So
that's the point, though. It's soft in the beginning. They're not going to lose any games in the beginning. Texas is losing 2 games right out the gate.
Well, I'm going to play the other side. I think that the first bad game that Joe Milton has, and he's going to have one, the first bad one that he has, everybody's going to say Nico, right?
Yes, but you can overlook bad play when you're winning. You know this, Dave. You covered the 98 team. T. Martin played horrible the first 5 games of the year for Tennessee. It was ugly. It was bad quarterbacking at its worst. And I know Fred White probably didn't want to hear that because I know he loves T, and I agree they held him back and everything like that. But T. Martin did not look like a starting quarterback those first 5 games in 98, but they were 5-0. And he kept the job.
I just still think he was held back a lot. Gene says Brent Musburger is better than your Spurrier. I bet it is. Get it? Because Brent had a gambling problem. I
had a supermodel problem, but
do you find it odd that Manning's chose Steve Sarkisian as the coach for Arch, or is it just me? Well, I don't find it odd because David Cutcliffe isn't involved with college football on the coaching level anymore. Had David Cutcliffe been involved somewhere, I think they would have gone with Cutcliffe, but he's obviously up there. I think at the end of the day, both programs would rather be able to sit these guys for the season, right?
Probably. I just think that Texas is less likely to have that option than Tennessee, largely because Steve Sarkisian is a more pro-style offensive coach, but that means it's more dependent on the quarterback actually being good. Whereas, like, don't get me wrong, Josh Heupel needs his quarterback to be good, but only good at a couple of things, and he can still make it work. And so,
but you're also there's also the argument that it's easier to play in Josh Heupel's system, which I believe is the case, Caleb. So
yes.
you're saying that Arch Manning has to do more than Nico in year one.
I think what they would do is simplify the playbook for Arch more than they did. I mean, we've seen freshmen at Tennessee this happen where they simplify the playbook for the freshmen if they're starting freshmen. Where Edwards' advantage is his experience, so I don't think they're going to simplify the playbook for him. They're going to expect him to be able to do more things. And if he can't, then it's like, why not go with the freshman at that point? Sidebar, because you brought up Cutcliffe. Question. I'm curious. If you're a powerhouse program and you're in the running for Arch Manning and you were in flux with coaching, would you have hired David Cutcliffe as head coach just to get Arch Manning?
I don't think that's an option.
I do believe Ole Miss did that in 1999 with Eli, by the way.
Well, I totally believe that. I don't think it's an option at his age and his health right now.
Oh, okay.
So right. I don't think that was an option, or somebody would have.
Yeah.
No question in my mind. He would be a coach at Texas right now.
Yes. Just for those who don't know history, Ole Miss hires Cutcliffe in 99. Eli Manning gets there in 2000. Eli Manning leaves in 2003. Ole Miss fires Cutcliffe in 2004.
Yes. And they asked David to make extensive staff changes, and he wouldn't do that as well.